Picking up his father's legacy, Max Emilian Verstappen joined the grid in 2015 as a Formula 1 driver and took the world by storm. The Red Bull driver broke numerous records along the way as not just the youngest driver to participate in F1, but also as the youngest race winner in F1 history. Since then, Max has seen some incredible growth as a driver, with 2021 being his best year so far. He went on to take home the Drivers' Championship in a tough contest against Lewis Hamilton, as well as win podiums in 18 out of the 22 races last season. Max's achievements are the result of his dedication and talent on the track, combined with the tough love coaching from his father Jos Verstappen throughout the years. While Jos enjoyed moderate success in F1, his son would unsurprisingly follow in his footsteps and create history. Which brings us to the question, why is Jos Verstappen now angry at his son's Max title win? Well, let's find out. Born to his Dutch father Jos and his Belgian mother Sophie, Max spent quite a lot of his early career travelling between the two countries for various karting competitions. Racing has always been in Max's blood, and this comes not just from his father but also from his mother Sophie Kumpen, and a former karting champion. Kumpen is known to have raced alongside popular F1 drivers such as Jenson Button, Giancarlo Fisichella and Jarno Trulli, among others. Thus, there's no doubt that Verstappen takes after both his parents by pursuing a career as a driver. My parents never pushed me into driving. It was actually me. After going to the go-kart track and seeing a younger kid driving around, I mean, you're naturally born with a competitive element. You also grow up with it and you see it around you, so I guess that helps, said Verstappen, revealing how he found his love for racing. For the majority of his racing career, Max will be accompanied by his father Jos, who shifted his complete focus on coaching Max for the foreseeable future. This meant that the Belgian-born Max would spend a great deal of time in the Netherlands beside his father. Despite having lived in Belgium and travelled with a Belgian passport for the longest time, Max has often asserted his Dutch nationality, stating, "I've lived in Belgium all my life, but I feel more Dutch. I actually only lived in Belgium to sleep, but during the day I went to the Netherlands and I also had my friends there. Because of all that karting, I spend more time with my father than with my mother. I'm just always among the Dutch. I was raised as a Dutchman and that's how I feel." Having supported and guided Max throughout his years in karting, and also during his move from Formula 3 to Formula 1, Jos is occasionally credited for his son's meteoric rise within the ranks. Witnessing Max win the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and in turn the 2021 Drivers' Championship, the senior Verstappen was overjoyed at his son's first championship win after 7 years of racing in F1. However, over the past few days, Jos has expressed his annoyance about how Max's title win has brought on some undue attention. Everyone wants a piece of Max at the moment. On the one hand, that's a nice compliment for him. He's doing incredibly well, in the car but also outside. He comes across well, has a fresh head and remains himself, so I understand that a lot of people are proud. Of course I am, but at some point I do have trouble with it. For example, in the eyes of some Belgian media, Max is suddenly a Belgian. I think that's a bit weak, complained Verstappen Sr. over the Belgian media's claims of Max Verstappen as one of their own. Jos further elaborated on why the renewed interest in Max from the Belgium side feels out of place, mentioning, "We've been racing for years, but until a few months ago there was little or no writing about him in Belgium, and now they suddenly claim that he's theirs. I absolutely don't see it that way myself." The former F1 driver, however, knows that this is only because of his connection to his ex-wife Sophie, as he explained. "The situation is that Max has both nationalities because me and Sophie, Verstappen's mother, were married at the time he was born." From his very first race itself, Max made his loyalties clear as he raced under the Dutch colours of red, white and blue. At the time, the Toro Rosso driver was still a teenager and had not even earned a road driving licence due to his age. Max's mother, Sophie Kumpen, insisted on her son's Belgian nationality during that time, stating, "The only identification that Max has is Belgian. He turns 18 on September 30, and on that date, and not before, he can opt for Dutch nationality. In the meantime, he is Belgian and nothing else." Responding to Sophie's comments, Jos was quick to shoot back, saying, "As he races with a Dutch licence, he is more Dutch than Belgium. He feels that too. When he's 18 and will choose, it will be for the Dutch nationality." Much to his mother's disappointment though, Max would continue to race as a Dutch driver, a direct influence from his Dutch father. While it's no secret that Jos and Sophie had a tumultuous and short-lived marriage, with the couple having effectively separated in 2008, Jos was also made to appear in court over allegations of having assaulted his ex-wife and was found guilty of sending her threatening messages as well as violating an existing restraining order. The ex-Benetton driver has a history of assault, having once gotten into an altercation at a karting event and later being convicted alongside his father Franz for the incident. Max too has been at the receiving end of his father's violence and would often face severe taunts and punishments from his father. Describing one such incident, Jos mentioned, "I was so upset with him, I walked away out of the park and went to the van and started packing the tent down. He was crying like a baby. He was really disappointed. I didn't speak to him for 7 days. I ignored him. I was really pissed. I really wanted to teach him at a point that it should hurt him. I wanted to show him that." Jos is reportedly said to have kicked Max out of his van for losing a World Championship kart race, with the abandoned Max later being picked up by his mother. Contrary to the rough upbringing by his father, Max has received a lot of love and support from his mother throughout the years. Speaking about Max's win in Abu Dhabi, Kumpen said, "Only now are we starting to realize it. My son is F1 world champion. I screamed and cried. The angels helped us. We started following the race together with almost the whole neighborhood. People were coming from all over, Belgians and Dutch together, all for Max. Max was a lion because, it must be admitted, Hamilton was the strongest in the race." Kumpen also shared her concerns for Hamilton, especially his mother, stating, "I often wonder about Hamilton's mother, Carmen Lockhart." Kumpen said, "She's been living with stress for years, hasn't she? It doesn't go away with me either. That's Max too, always just over it and taking a bit of risk. Every time he races, something happens." Despite his father's strict attitude, Max has been sure to credit Jos for his first Formula 1 championship. The 24-year-old's success was in large part due to the gruesome training that he underwent with his dad as his coach. "A moment I will never forget, very special for the whole family. My family had to live for me. I probably cost my father the wedding. My sister missed both me and him because he was always with me. Without my dad, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Since he stopped racing in F1, he basically spent all his time preparing me in the best way possible. We grew up together. He was my go-kart mechanic, driving with a van from Holland or Belgium to all the go-kart races all over Europe." Besides Max, others too have been vocal about how important his parents have been in his goal of winning the championship. Frits van Amersfoort, owner of Van Amersfoort Racing and Max's old F3 team, shared his own thoughts, stating, "Together, Jos and Sophie built a baby which had the right genes. I remember Andre Agassi was built by his father as a tennis robot, by getting 3,000 balls each day around his ears. Jos was like that. In the karting years, as far as I heard, it was sometimes unhuman how the two of them worked together, how Jos prepared and programmed his son to be the best racing driver in the world." Given that Max has now won the biggest prize in motorsport and cemented the Verstappen legacy in Formula 1, Jos is surely enjoying the praise and commendations on his son's success. The senior Verstappen is however protective of his son, especially with Max's newfound global acclaim. While Max is now considered a Dutch hero all throughout the Netherlands, he also enjoys a great deal of respect and admiration from his fans and well-wishers in his native motherland, Belgium. So, what do you think about Jos Verstappen's comments? Is Max's nationality as big of a deal as his parents claim? Let us know in the comments below and don't forget to hit the thumbs up.